Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair friends, family, and subscribers. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you part 5 of What If Deku Was a Brachidios? Where we last left off, the practical exam has just started, and the gates are wide open. And what does Izuku do? He takes off. And so does Ida. Ida charges through, and what I failed to mention in the last episode is her max speed. So allow me to clarify. In her normal state, she can reach about between 30 miles per hour standard and around 50 if she's pushing it. In overdrive, she can now reach between 60 miles an hour once it's active to about 80 if she's pushing it to its current maximum. So let us continue. Ida is running straight on past, running up and jumping off from building to building, slingshotting herself towards the center of the fray. Meanwhile, Izuku, as soon as he gets enough room, Monsterification! He goes full on Brachidios and starts slamming the 1-pointers, 2-pointers, smashing them, crashing them, busting them, even delivering a flurry of light jabs and letting his slime just explode them, leaving nothing but a wake of scrap metal and twisted, circuits, you could say. However, after a couple of minutes of this, he switches to his hybridized state to move a bit faster. And so he does. He tries running forward to catch further up with Ida. However, Ida is having her own troubles. She's ran straight off ahead and starts smashing apart some 1-pointers and 2-pointers as well, using her intense speed to, smash them apart with her legs, breaking the hardware that, keeps the head attached to the body. Without that, they're essentially inept and inert. However, that all changes when the 3-pointers start appearing. They're made of tougher stuff, thicker steel, better material. And they have rockets. Seriously, who decided to make this a high school again in the original? Come on. Rockets? You're sending high explosives at kids. Good God. UA, everybody. At least I made it a university. So yes, they fire rockets. Oh boy. And Ida goes, seriously, rockets? Rockets? This is supposed to be a training exercise. And she kind of, panics and runs up the building. And they, destroy more of the building as they impact into the walls. Izuku, seeing this impacting and everything, goes, oh boy. And he runs over. Now, I would say around this point, there are about 3-pointers trained on Ida. And she has hardened her nerve up to begin to run back down and attempt to counterattack. However, all 3 of them are looking dead at her, and it's not going to be an easy thing. That is until she sees a shadow flying overhead. And then she looks up, and she sees the telltale, Izuku leaping over her and smashing into the group of three-pointers in his monster form. As soon as it lands after that impact, the slime gushes forward, splattering the other two three-pointers beside the center one where he aimed. And as they begin to turn around and blast their rockets into him, they also too explode. Ida's worried and runs forward trying to save Izuku, but it's too late. He's already engulfed in the explosion. She goes, "No! Izu!" As she runs forward, trying to get through, but then she sees Izuku walking out in his hybridized state, just going, "What? You're alive? Of course I'm alive. They had a 0.5% chance of doing any damage to me, much less actually causing me to actually die. What, did you actually think I would do something that reckless?" Kinda? I'm crazy, not stupid. Anyways, you need to be more careful. Your abilities are best left up to hit and run attacks. If your enemies lock onto you, you're screwed. Dummy. As he flicks her upside the head. Ow! Will you stop doing that? Stop being stupid and I'll think about it. I'm gonna kick your ass. Okay? I already took rockets from them. What do you really think you kicking my butt will do? Probably just hurt your leg considering how much you ran from those guys, apparently. As he just continues to walk forward and just says, "Come on, there are more points to be had. I already racked up about, if by my calculations and according to the explanation, 57. One more three-pointer, I'll have the bare minimum of what I think will be required for Class 1A. And maybe about 20 more points could guarantee my spot. But we also have to make sure not to overhog all the points, considering that we do that, other people might not make it in who are actually deserving of it." You're a nice guy, Izuku. I can be. Only whenever I think it's good competition. That doesn't make sense. A lot of things I do don't make sense to most people. Anyways, back to this. As at this point, Izuku's gone off from focusing on offense and has now been focusing on, well, helping out. He realizes that there is a bunch more people out there who may be having similar troubles, similar to, well, what Ida had. Now, we're going to take a minor break from this action and go up into the observation room, where Principal Nezu and Miss Aizawa are watching. So the kid's here, huh? Indeed, it does look so. It does look so. Well, that's good. We always could use the return of a very smart individual. Him, very smart. What do you mean? Nezu hands Aizawa his test papers. So what? They're top scoring. So he's actually pretty smart. Goes beyond that. He is the son of a pro hero. Oh? How do you know that? I did some research. Why? Well, remember, we bumped into him before, if you do recall. Yeah, that's when I said, I know. And at that time, we had to get a DNA sample from him in order to exclude him from any previous wrongdoings done by that organization. But I was curious and I did my own analysis. His DNA match came up between two very powerful people, one of which used to be a very good pro hero. Do you remember Suprema? Suprema? You mean the former rank 20 pro hero? Well, she was former rank 20 until she had an early retirement 2 years before her re-enlistment. She wound up getting married and getting pregnant. So she had a temporary retirement, you could say, or a leave of absence, where she could take care of her child. After those 2 years were up, she came back, and she was working doggedly to get back into her role of 20th spot. Unfortunately, she died due to a terrorist attack. Someone who didn't like the idea of monsters being in our society and tried to destroy a center that was assisting a lot of them, or at least tried to. She was able to disarm 9 out of the 10 bombs. But while she had super intelligence and was the first one on the scene, she could not surpass that last one. And what's the other one? You remember the vigilante known as Devastation? Yes. That's his father. What? We're letting the son of a well-known vigilante in here? Not even a well-known one, a renowned one. That's name has been echoed throughout the world. We're letting him in here. Yes, we are. Why the hell should we do that? He's gonna cause nothing but trouble. Because it was this school's fault for creating him in the first place. What do you mean, Nezu? Simple. Do you remember how our school never allowed those with the monster gene quirk in for the longest time? Somewhat. I thought it was because they failed. Incorrect. That was the official story. However, going back over the tapes, most of them passed. In fact, his father had a score that was almost as good as All Might's, as Miss Almighty's score. And he should have passed. He should have gotten into 1A minimum and 1B at best, 1A at worst, 1B. But instead he was sent a letter telling him that he failed. At least that's what we were told. In actuality, he was sent a letter telling him that his species was too volatile to be allowed entrance into UA. What? Indeed. Indeed. As soon as I heard that, I was quite irritated at the former headmaster. And it seems as if I was not the only one. The young Mr. Hisashi Midoriya used his anger to lash out and became known as Devastation. If it wasn't for that one incident, he more than likely could have become a high-ranking hero. This is this school's chance to make amends. Not only for the mistakes of its past by allowing those of the monster gene to enter and be a part of our group and become heroes, but by also repairing the damage we caused, the damage that our school caused to society. This young man could be very useful in that endeavor. He has a lot of hope placed on him now, and a lot of eyes will be watching him. As we cut back to Izuku, who is in turn using his monsterification form to intercept missiles that are beginning to, well, rocket their way towards a very young and pretty looking pink-haired girl. He runs right... Sorry about that. A annoying friend called. Well, he's not always annoying. He's a good guy for the most part. But when he does stuff like this in the middle of recording, he can be quite annoying. Shout out to you, Fallout, you crazy bastard. I still care about you. Not in that way, but yes. So, where was I? Right. So, Deku transformed into his monsterification form and intercepted several rockets heading for, well, I'm not even going to try and hide it, Mina. Intercepted several rockets heading towards Mina. Why, she got a little bit in over her head and a three-pointer nearly blew it off. But due to Brachidios being explosion-proof, which means explosions do no damage to it, yeah, he just kind of shrugs it off and, well, you know, destroys it. Mina's kind of shocked and amazed by this type of power he's just produced, and he just walks over to her and says, "You okay?" as he hybridizes into his second form. Sorry, I would show you my full face and everything, but it's not quite safe around here. You gotta be more careful. They are not holding any punches during this exam. Right. Thank you. No problem. See ya. As Ida's off doing, well, something similar. Blocking, intercepting, and, well, destroying 1, 2, and 3-pointer robots. And if you're wondering why I'm focusing on these two, in case you don't know, both Shota and Momo have taken the easy way out of this exam. Yeah, so these are the only two main characters I can really focus on. For now, at least. Don't worry. There will be more soon. Believe in your humble narrator. And don't forget last episode. So, they chaw. So, as they're doing their own things, blocking, intercepting, and saving people, well, Izuku hears a scream. A very loud scream of, "Help me!" I'm sorry I can't do a girly voice. I am not going to try. Help me! And Izuku, how the hell did I confuse those two up? Pardon me. Izuku turns around on a swivel and rushes forward. As he sees, well, the big bad 0-pointer. He goes, oh, this is gonna be fun. As then Ida hears, "Help me!" turns around and sees the big bad zero-pointer and just goes, "Oh no, this is gonna be bad," as she runs full speed. Izuku reaching there first, seeing this girl trapped under a pile of rubble, getting right underneath it and slamming his feet up against the rubble, knocking it away, as the foot of the zero-pointer begins to slowly but surely come down upon him. He measures everything out and realizes, even if he intercepts this, the ground beneath him will either give out, or the metal he impacts will give out around him. Meaning that no matter what, he either has to move her or try and dodge. He can't really safely touch this girl because in his current state he's covered in slime. And even if he so much as touches a person while he's in this state, well, that slime is highly contagious and oxidizes and blows up rather quickly. It's not always fun being a Brachidios. There's a reason whenever he's in that form, he usually keeps away from others, unless he's trying to hurt people. So, he decides to do the next best thing, and he body blocks over her. He literally crouches over on top, plants his feet right over her, and is willing to accept the brunt of this thing's force as that zero-pointer slams down onto him. And he distributes his weight evenly, trying to make sure the ground doesn't give way and she cannot, be crushed under both him and the zero-pointer. But gradually, as the zero-pointer increases the pressure on his back, the feet that he's planted so firmly in the ground begin to go into it. And that's whenever Ida shows up. And Izuku tells her, "Grab the girl and run!" "But Izuku, what are you gonna do?" "Don't worry about me. I'm gonna have a blast. Take the girl and run." "Right. No problem, Mizu." As she runs, slides between his legs, grabs, Ochako, and hauls ass. Chaco's going, "Wait, we can't just leave him there." "Trust me, he'll be fine. Nothing in this world can take him down that easily. It'll take more than one big boot to hurt him." "Are you sure?" "Oh yeah. Because when it comes to people who are tough as nails, they don't get much tougher than Izuku." As this monster begins to apply even more pressure, and that's when Izuku smiles, a Brachidios-wide smile, and just says, "Oh, this is gonna be good." As he uses his tail to gain some leeway and slide himself out from underneath the foot, it immediately slamming onto the ground as he's just barely able to escape without any sort of damage. However, as he was holding that thing up, a lot of slime got carried on to the opponents. It may not always be good being a Brachidios, but it's certainly not all that bad. Especially when people who you don't want touching you touch you. Because then it's their fault when things go kaboom! As the leg, technically the foot of the zero-pointer shatters and explodes in a barrage of fragmentation as Izuku just charges forward, digging his feet into the side of the beast as he runs up and in full monster form. With each step he makes, he slams his fist into the robot. Boom, 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 boom. Each impact leaving behind a puddle of slime that goes from green to yellow to red. and then explodes, leading behind a symphony of explosions. Boom, 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 that echo throughout the streets. Everyone's watching as this monstrous beast is running up the 0 pointer. And that's whenever Izuku notices this other hand beginning to want to slam down on him. He's saying, ah, shit. Because he knows that while he may be strong, he can't knock that thing away going that fast. However, he won't need to. As a large beam of fire stretches across the hand and burns it almost completely in half. As Izuku turns around to see, well, pardon me a moment, the young man he met earlier, Kaminari, giving him some fire support. Right, Kirishima, my apologies. Kaminari was the Zenogre. My bad. Kirishima giving him some fire support. As Deku continues his assault, slamming into this monster as he climbs up, leaping forward over obstacles. Boom, 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 making impact after impact after impact. He gets up to the top of the thing, and it's shaking and moving and turning and twisting. Izuku's trying to find his balance whenever a large surge of electricity goes through the beast. And when he looks down, he sees Kaminari there, shooting out massive bolts of lightning through the creature, arcing electricity, causing it to short circuit, if only for a short period of time. And Izuku doesn't waste this time. He leaps straight up into the air off of its head, and he comes down, impacting the skull of the 0-pointer with his horn, which easily buries itself deep within. And he unleashes an unholy amount of slime into this thing as the eyes of the 0-pointer, eye of the 0-pointer, begins to turn and fill with a green substance that then turns yellow and then red as lights begin to blur and blue streams of energy begin flowing out of it as it goes kaboom! Izuku begins to fall. He quickly hybridizes and realizes this impact might actually hurt whenever he is in turn caught by his old friend, his new friend, I should say, Kirishima, who gently escorts him back down to the ground. They all de-transform into their normal states and just kind of, wow, you guys were awesome. You too, man. Holy shit. How did you figure out you could do that? I just came up with it on the fly. It just made the most sense. But thank you for your support. It would have been a bigger pain in the ass to get through it if it wasn't for y'all. No problems, man. No problems. Whew. I tell you one thing though. You're one tough bastard. Yeah, I try. Hope we all get into 1A. Same. As they all kind of put their hands in a little ring and just kind of go, ha, and break it off. The class is in for the rest of the day. Well, I wouldn't say classes. The examination ends. They all begin to go home. On the ride there, Mr. Yaoyorozu asks Momo how she thinks she did. She says she thinks she's in, no problem. With recommendation and how high she scored on the tests, she should be a shoo-in. Then he turns to Izuku. What about you? Yeah, I think I got in. No, I know I got in. I see. Quite confident. Yeah, I have every right to be. I've earned my strength through hard work and dedication. I've studied my ass off more times than I can count. And I've tried to stay focused on my goal. And what is that goal, Izuku? To become a hero that my dad could be proud of. I see. Well, it's a good thing you said that, because we're making a small pit stop. Oh? Izuku, do you forget what today's date is? No. It's the anniversary of your dad's death. Normally, I know you wouldn't come out here, because it hurts a lot. But if you wouldn't mind, would you please walk with me to his grave? You too, Momo? Sure thing, Pops. No problem, Uncle. As they get out the car and shut the door, they walk over and kneel before Hisashi's grave that's sitting right next to his mother's. They light a few incense, say their prayers, and right when Izuku's about to stand up, Mr. Yaoyorozu then begins talking. Hisashi, you should be proud. Your son's making strides. He's gonna surpass both of us one of these days. As he takes a bottle of sake out of his jacket pocket and pours a small amount onto Hisashi's grave. I know you always hated this stuff, but you always tolerated a drink whenever I visited you. You're a good man, Hisashi. And your boy's a good man as well. My daughter's doing great as well. As Momo begins to feel a bit awkward as her father talks, well, to a tombstone in her opinion. And she tries to turn to Deku to see if he can talk some sense. But then she turns to see that Deku is tearing up. I miss you, Pop. I miss you. I'm doing my best to make you proud, old man. I did pretty good at the entrance, and there's even more monster guys like me there. They're pretty cool. One of them turns into a fanged beast and another one into a flying one. They gave me some big help earlier, but I'm pretty sure I racked up a lot of points. I'm gonna do my best to make you proud. I'll get into UA. And not only that, I'll pass. I'll pass with flying colors. I'll become someone you will never. I'll become someone that will never allow anything, that will never harm anyone. I'll become a true hero. So please, Pop, keep watching over me. You and Mom, please keep watching over me. I need you now more than ever. As Momo feels a bit sad and comforts him. Meanwhile, at the other end of the cemetery, if anyone was paying attention, a man in a black van is staring out at them, at the Yayarozus, but mainly at young Midoriya, with an extending camera, taking pictures. Good evening, Master. Yes, target has been sighted. No, do not worry. I shall not make a move on his precious head. After all, he is going to be a valuable research subject later. No need to rush the proposal. Do not worry, sir. I will be most respectful. I will make sure not to harm a hair on his head. Or the rest of his body. Yes, I know. I swear, you make it sound as if I want to destroy everything I touch, sir. I am a scientist first and foremost, you should know. And as a scientist, well, let's just say that the son of devastation is most intriguing of a subject. Especially considering how much of a failure the first one was. No, the first one was good. But the son promises to be an even more promising research subject. Yes, indeed. Or at least that's what I believe. Do not worry, Master. Do not worry. I will make sure no harm befalls the boy. At least any harm I can prevent. If he gets caught up as collateral damage, it would be a loss, yes, but I cannot help. Yes, Master. I understand. Bye for now. As Izuku catches a whiff. He smells something strange, and it's not just the incense. He smells the whiff of another predator, another beast, similar to him, but not. Something more primal. Oh, spotted me already, have you? As the mysterious man taps on the floor, and the driver, well, takes off. Izuku views it as a bit strange, but he just figures that those people were just parking there and doing something, and then they took off. It's not really a strange occurrence in a cemetery. He focuses back on this and just says, I'll make you proud, Pop. I'll make you proud. As he gets up, says, I'm ready to go, Mr. Yayarozu, if you wouldn't mind. As Mr. Yayarozu stands up and puts away the sake and just says, Of course. Oh, and thank you. It's no problem, Midoriya. No, it's no problem, Izu. You're like a son to me. I know I'll never replace your father, nor would I want to. But you've been raising you for a while. And if you ever need anything, you know to let me know, right? course. Good. Now let's get you all home. And so they go home, couple weeks pass, and the letters arrive. Momo naturally gets in, as per usual. And then Izuku opens his, and a hollow figure of Almighty is there saying, "Ha ha! Congratulations, young young Izuku Midoriya." Sorry, thinking about the Issei what if. Still got a few things to iron out. I'll be on that soon. Congratulations, young Izuku Midoriya. You have racked up a grand total of 85 standard points, as well as 180 hero points, leaving you a grand total of... Hold up, someone's talking to me here. Okay, yes, I'm bad at math, shut up. 265 points. I hope that you are more than welcome to come to, well, Your Hero Academia. I finally made it to UA. Yes! He yells at the top of his lungs, reaching into his hybridized state to yell even louder, shaking the very foundation of the household with how loud he roars, even causing some hearing damage towards the rest of the Yayorozu family. Some of the windows crack and shatter, and they tell him, "Izuku, calm down." Be like, sorry. Yes, because if any of you have ever heard the monster roars on that game, yeah, they get fargan loud. And that's where I'll end this episode off. I hope you all had a blessed evening, and I hope you all enjoyed your time here. And please, leave a comment if you really enjoyed it, or if you thought there were things that could be improved upon. I do like criticism, but only the constructive type. Have a blessed evening and nice life. Bye.